Hi, Kristen. This is Stacy. Stacy
Hi,
Warren.
nice
How are
to
you?
meet you.
Great, great. Is Erin joining, or was it just for yourself?
Yes, she's joining. So we just give her a couple minutes. I'm sure she'll be on in a moment.
Sure, sure. Take your time. Let us know when you're ready.
Okay.
Hi, I'm here as well. This is Erin.
Hi, Erin. This is Stacy. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Good. Can you both see our screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Well, great. Well, let's get started. Do you need a few more minutes, or is everyone good to go?
We're
I'm
good.
good.
Great, great, great. Well, thank you both for carving out a bit of your day to meet with us. Of course, Erin, you and I met in Richmond, and wanted to see if we could maybe carve out some time to talk to you. You mentioned one of your key points of interest was bill pay. Is that still the case?
Well, yeah, just any bookkeeping.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
bill pay, bank recs, anything like that.
Okay. Great. So a little bit of background on us. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Let me make one quick introduction, then we get started. I've asked our lead engineer, her name is Rinky, to join the call, and Rinky will drive the majority of the demo, and she can add quite a bit of value. So I wanted to make that quick introduction.
How are you doing?
Hi there.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Great. Okay.
Great. Okay, great. So, tell you a little bit about us. We have an all-in-one software called Business Day. So Business Day supports all processes in finance and accounting related. And we'll just drill down more on that during this call. So the beauty of our solution is automation is our big key, is one of the key features of our solution. It's a single database, so therefore everything is in one place. As you know, most, because I like to call it, where they might have several different systems, and so the beauty of our solution is everything is in one place. It's a cloud premise version, but the majority of our clients use the cloud version. And like, what are you guys currently using for finance and accounting? Can you kind of elaborate more on the bill pay aspect?
Just I don't know if you and I talked to you about this, but we utilize like downloading from our bank, where you could enter your bills in and then just hit a button and have them like push through to the bank for the bill. Pay. That's what we're able to do.
Okay, great. A lot of our clients use QuickBooks as well. So our solution can kind of pick up where QuickBooks kind of lags. You know, a lot of people talk to us when they're kind of outgrowing QuickBooks, but we integrate well with QuickBooks, I might add. So start with bill pay on the accounting side.
I don't know if you have, like, think of it maybe as like a small account work in this world, and how could you flip quick?
Without further ado, I'll turn it over to Rinky. We like to keep these overviews as informative and interactive as possible. So feel free to chime in with any questions or comments. And of course, at the end, we can do a wrap up as what you think makes sense as a logical next step.
Sounds good.
Rinky, I'll turn it over to you.
Great. Okay. So hello there, this is Rinky here. This is our finance module, as you can see on the screen. So we have different systems here over here, like different modules, and they are all integrated with our finance module. So we have the receivables for receiving the payment in the system. So for invoices like accounts receivables, we have the receive payment for posting the payment into our system and how the journal entries are getting created automatically. And we have the payables for the accounts payable invoices, and then the pay invoices to be able to post that payment into the system. I'll show you a few examples.
Ricky, could you possibly speak up a little bit? You're a little bit quiet.
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
That's a little better. Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay. So I was
Thank
saying,
you.
yeah, no problem. As I was saying, we have the receivables, we have the payables. So the finance module, these are the sub modules in the finance module. So it depends upon you what modules you would like to use. Okay, we have the banking system, so we have the bank statements. You can upload bank statements. I'm giving you just a brief overview of the finance module, okay, and then I'll just focus on the requirement, the paying part, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we have the banking module. We have the different financial statements like balance sheet, trial balance, profit and loss. Now this is our journal entry sub module. You can see all your journal entries that are created, automatic journal entries or manual journal entries, depending upon how would you like to use the system. So you can also create manual journal entries, or you can set all your documents to automatic journal entries. Now this is the reconciliation, where you can, once the payment is done, you can reconcile all your transactions to see the final output. So we have the accounts receivable transactions, the accounts payable transactions, and here you should be able to see all your transactions with the journal entries and without the journal entries. I might have an example of this over here. All transactions, yes. So you can see reconcile all. We have documents with journal entries over here. You can see which are closed, overdue, or open. And then we have documents without journal entries. So without journal entries means the journal entries are not created for that one. So we can create it. There is a button. Once you create it, you can see it in the journal entries section. Okay. Do you have any question?
I don't think so. How about you, Kristen?
I thought of a few things. I can save them for a little bit. You might touch on them. I was wondering about the as far as the support for each one of these. Is it saved somewhere where you can click on a journal entry and see the support that goes with it?
Yes, you can do that. We have our so as you can see here, this is the sheet. So once I click on any of the transactions, it will drill down to that particular journal entry. For example, this is our report, and I will click on this transaction, and this will take me. It will drill down that, and I can see that journal entry, which journal entries this particular amount is referring to. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just open it for you.
And Stacy, just wanted to say one thing real quick before Rinky gets started again. So with our solution, she's going to give you more of a high-level overview. The beauty of our solution is we sell it a la carte. So you pick and choose the modules that best fit your requirements. So like most software, you have to buy the entire thing even if you don't need it. That's not the case with our solution. That's why we play so well in the small, medium-sized business market. So keep that in mind. If there's things that you like that you think might help you and things that you might not need, always remember you only pick what you need. Things that you don't need, we will turn off.
Yep. So
Okay.
you can see the drill down has given me all these journal entries that were linked to that particular amount in the report. So you can see all of them. What constituted that amount?
How about can you drill down to even seeing like approvals of the journal entries, or I'm trying to think about like maybe even backup. Let's say there's a document, it's a PDF or an Excel sheet that supports this journal entry. Is there any way to attach it
Yeah, definitely we do have it. We have it in our accounts payable and accounts receivable module. Okay, so as you can see here, this is our um,
Yeah, so that's called like this is a she share. Sorry, I had another call. I had to jump in. So is this Christine that I'm talking to?
It is.
Hey, Christine. Uh, so if you see, there's actually a workflow. So we have approval workflows for each of those document approval. So which automatically changes the status of the document, and the
Mm-hmm.
journal entry would not get posted if that those approvals are not in place. So those are all configurable workflows. You show the drop down, Rinky, in that.
yes,
So they're like
yeah,
the different workflows that are associated with it, and then all the approvers have to approve the document in case that workflow is being set up. If once that approval happens, only then the document and the journal entry gets posted, and you have all the attachments to this. If they need something to view before they give an approval. So that's also part of it. And in the beginning, you asked about that if we have the multiple companies. So in the software, we have that thing. If you see here, there's like these different companies. So we have the ability to consolidate those. And you can also switch and just see, but we have to enable all these features because generally most of the customers take a single company login.
Mm.
And then the reports also can be generated as a group company. So we call it business consolidation.
Mm-hmm.
So a group report can also be created in the system.
Okay. So you could have, say, like 100 different companies. You might have some users that can see, 20 of them. Some can see all 100 of them. They may, they may not be consolidated at all, or maybe some of them are. All of that's configurable.
Yes. So we have the user administration module, and that's where we can allow and disallow the access. Only the super user can access.
Okay.
How does it work now in your current environment with consolidation?
Well, we don't consolidate them exactly. Well, that's not entirely true. We do compile reports for some of our entities so that you can see, but they're really kind of summary reports. They're not detailed.
I see. Okay.
Like say you have, a handful of companies and they're all separate, separate businesses, separate, LLCs from each other, but you might want to report on all of them together as in summary. Would this be able to assist with that?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Having separate businesses that you might want to consolidate because they're all, say, the same type. So you might want to see all of, there's different businesses and how that whole business unit maybe is doing. Separate companies, they all have their own sets of books, but
Yes.
consolidating.
Yes, so we have certain already ready consolidated reports, but other than that, we also have a a report designer, which can actually give you a consolidation report, which we can design with our easy drag and drop menu. So
Okay.
this is part of the implementation process that we can.
Okay.
Okay, so next we have this invoices. So as you can see, this is our invoice module on the invoice page. Here we can schedule, we can see all the payments that's been closed, overdue, and pending, the open ones. We can also schedule a payment over here. So I can have to select one payment, and if I want, I can go ahead and schedule the payment like this, and I can pay it, and this will get posted in our pay invoice part. I can check the schedule view of the payment, and it will show me the payments in the schedule view. So I can display all records and I can see which ones are overdue. We have a grid view on every document so that, we can just put in some keywords or the vendor or the customer name, and it will drill down to that particular transaction. So this is our invoice part. This is an example of an accounts payable invoice.
I have a question, ladies. Is invoicing an area of concern, or do you have a good handle on that?
We have some invoicing, not nearly as much as the payables, paying the invoices. But we do. I mean, I'd like to see what you send to customers. How easy is it for the customer to pay? Is that integrated, or can they get it by email?
Yeah. So this is basically every invoice. Every invoice we can send it over the email, and that feature is pretty much like QuickBooks. So they get a link in the email to pay the invoice, and once they receive that, they can enter their bank information or like credit card.
Okay.
So if you link it with authorize.net, so we use authorize.net and as one of the
Okay.
So who is your, I guess when you're setting up, you said payment gateway, who do you use?
authorize.net.
Can you spell that one?
AUTHORIZE.net.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, they're a very popular gateway.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We also have integration with Stripe. So, I mean, if you have like any preference, we can also do a customized integration for your payments there.
Okay.
With regards to the invoicing, we also have recurring invoice as a feature in our invoice module, wherein, for the invoices that are getting that needs to be created daily or monthly or weekly, the system can automatically generate such type of invoices with the particular date. So if I have an invoice that needs to be generated daily, so if I just put into the system that I need this invoice to be created daily, the system will automatically create it for me. So as you can see, this is a recurring invoice, and I can set up the frequency as yearly, daily, semi-monthly. So these are the frequency on which the invoice can get created. So this is just a feature of our invoicing part.
Can you tell me what the barcode on the screen is? And what's that there for?
This is for the AR invoice. So if you have your desktop and you have a scanner on your desktop and you scan it, it can directly open that particular invoice.
Oh, gotcha. Do you have anything along those lines on, let's see. So that's a barcode that's associated with that customer's, or that's actually a barcode, I see it, associated with that invoice number. Okay.
That's correct. Yeah.
That's the kind of efficiency that we're looking for on the payable side. Like that seems pretty cool. If you were doing a lot of invoicing processing, you get your invoice in, you scan it, and then it pops up on the screen. I think we're looking for that sort of thing on the payable side. Not that, obviously that wouldn't work, but just efficiencies like that, something kind of unusual.
Yeah, we have like both on the payable and receivables. I mean, same feature. It's a feature across the application. So you'll see that barcode on all the. You can see it on this AP invoice.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to log into the system and then go to the menu and like So you just scan it and you can stay logged in the system and it will open it.
So ladies, is it safe for me to assume that payables is the biggest area of concern for you guys?
I would say yes. What did you say, Kristen?
Yeah, efficiency wise, that's our biggest time. Yeah.
Okay. And we hear that often. So yeah. So what we'll do for the remainder of this demo is we'll focus on the payable side of the application.
Even on the payable side, if you go on the list view, Rinky, can you show how you can schedule payments ahead of time? So for example, if you're going to be on holiday or you want certain invoices to go out next week, so you can select those invoices and you can create the posting dates on those and what methods. So they link to your bank account and they can be scheduled for payouts on those specific days. So you don't have to be in the office for that. You can schedule it for say 18th of the month or whatever like date you want to.
So those options right there, like the credit card. So the credit card data is in the system, and you're selecting credit card, and then you're selecting the invoice you want to pay, and you're picking credit card. And say you have lots of different credit cards. Would you then have a long list to choose from to pay that invoice with?
That's right. Yeah. So we save all that information in the company master payables.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a company master that we have in the system, and we save all your bank accounts and everything in that, and that's where it picks it up from. So you can choose a bank, and then with the bank, you can choose which specific bank, like Bank of America, Citibank, Wells Fargo. And then if you have multiple accounts with them, then you can pick up those multiple accounts. You can set up one account as default too.
Is the system cutting a check, or is it using the banking bill pay system and using them to then cut a check through their bill pay?
It uses authorize.net. We do like most of it through the ACH payments. It has the ability to cut the check, but I mean, that's pretty outdated. So
yeah,
you can do electronic payments.
What if you're dealing with quite a few, individuals and smaller vendors?
We have a vendor master, and as you can see, that we save all the payment details of those vendors in the vendor master. So it has their bank account, and when you pay, you can also pick their preferred method of payment, which is saved on these AR invoices.
Oh, gotcha.
And then whatever method they like, you can.
Okay, so the idea is all of your vendors are set up with their ACH information. So you're basically saying to the vendors, all right, in order to be my vendor, you need to provide the ACH information, so that's the preferred method. Yeah, okay.
And this information, we store it one time in the vendor master.
Gotcha.
So ladies, what are some of the other challenges on the payable side that you're facing in your current environment?
Well, I think in talking this through, some of our vendors are going to be trusts and things that are not, they actually need a physical check, or small mom and pop shops, kind of vendors where we're still sending physical checks. I have to think through the ACH process. It may not be a big deal to get those, but we get lots of new vendors, so that could be quite time consuming to have a new vendor that we pay only once or twice. Yet we have to get the ACH information. That could sort of slow us down a bit.
Okay. Any thoughts, Ashish?
Yeah, it's the same way whether it's an individual vendor, individual person, or if it's like a company as a vendor, you can pay them either way.
Mm-hmm. So does the system, I know it can print a check. Does it have a way to communicate, say you're a Bank of America or you're a, Wells Fargo or whatever customer, where you can send the data to your bank and have them send the check through their bill pay system? Does it have any, can authorize.net, can they sort of do that as well in the system? Or is it, if you're going to cut a check, it's going to be through this system?
Yeah, as of now, it's mostly the electronic payment is through authorize.net.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the bill pay, but some of the banks do allow those APIs, and that's like some customization that would be required on this. That we need to do for you.
And my other question I wanted to see on today's demo is when you're reconciling your bank information, is that downloaded from the bank so it can auto,
Yes.
kind of auto reconcile daily or whatever?
Yes. So we have the banking statement. Rinky, can you go to the banking statement?
Yes.
So in the bank statement, we have multiple options that you can set up an online download of the bank statement. You can also upload it through an Excel file too, but mostly if the bank does allow the download, we have that complete ability to download the bank statement.
We have got different companies that also use investments and investment statements and things along those lines. Is there anything in your system that is can handle that kind of information, reporting on it, tracking it, anything like that? Or is that just something you would put in the chart of accounts and, kind of like, like any other account?
It's mostly like the chart of accounts.
Okay.
This is something that we generally record through journal entries. I saw in the beginning you had some sort of journal entry
Yes.
feature.
So you can create those manual journal entries, but our system has like automated journal entries when you're creating those AP invoices and then pay those invoices. The journal entries do get created automatically in the system, but you also have the ability to create a manual journal entry.
Okay.
I guess my investment question is more like for individuals, they might use like a Quicken or that type of software to track that kind of thing. And it looks like your software is, catered to businesses. I didn't know if there was any of that sort of personal type tracking in here at all.
Personal time tracking?
No, personal financial type tracking.
Like finances for individuals, because we are a family office. So I think I explained that to you, Stacy. We're a family office, so we have the individual's finances, and then we have a lot of privately owned businesses in addition. So that's why we're almost operate like a small accounting firm, where we have some individual clients and we have some business clients.
Yeah, most of that is handled through the journal entries. So we pass a couple of journal entries at the end of the year, or to make those adjustments, sort the month closings. So that's typically how it's been handled. So as far as to answer your question on the online accounts, so this is typically how the online accounts are being set up. And these are the statements that get downloaded. So, I mean, if you have set up these banks, so Bank of America, they'll tell you like how many transactions were downloaded.
So I see like under the account types, it had bank account or CD. Do you do any where you could, trying to think down, like see savings as an option? Are there other account types, maybe just different like mutual funds or anything like that that's possible? Not that you can write.
Yeah, so this is how like it goes out, and this is how you set up. Like, I mean, if you have those specific type of bank accounts, it will ask you the usernames and password, and
yes, does it only do it for
what type of account?
Yeah, would it only do it for bank, savings, CD, that, or will it do it for all the different types of accounts you might have with one of those partners?
Yeah, it offers like based on your login information, it retrieves what type of account do you operate.
Okay, so you could have some mutual funds, with one of those kind of thing. I didn't know if I saw anybody.
Yeah, but again, like if I log in with my personal login, it will only show me my checking. And if you have a mutual fund account or a money market or something of that sort, it will also retrieve the market.
Okay. Okay.
Great. Is there anything else? Any other questions or anything else you'd like to see?
You want to look at any reports real quick? We probably don't have too much longer, but maybe just a little bit on the reporting.
Yeah, that would be good.
And for us, one of our
can you share some reports?
Like I mentioned, we have a lot of different companies. So just being able to open and close, or just being able to flip quickly between companies or report quickly on different companies without logging in, logging out.
Yes, but for that we have to enable enhanced security feature. That's what we showed you, that flipping between the companies. So when you flip between the companies, because we were not sure what you will be looking for, that's a rare scenario which our customers ask, unless they are a group of companies. So in that case, we allow that based on special security exceptions that we have to set up in the system.
Okay. And we would need an administrator.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
For basically doing security behind the system, we would need an administrator that we would have that would need a lot of IT training. Is that generally how it works?
Yes, so we train the super user, and the super user can actually log in and remove access for people who resign the company and go, and the new folks who come and join the company. Yeah, so this is an example of report what you asked for, and you can export it to PDF or Excel file, or I mean, there are different options that you can export it. And then also on the payable, like there are HTML reports too that you can view and export. Can you go to the AP invoice screen? Go to the ledger view. You had like one of the list views open. So most of our views, you can apply those filters, and you can even export these views directly from here in the form of Excel or PDF. So that's one option. Then Ricky, can you go to the journal entry screen?
Journal entries. This one or the inside one? This
You
one.
already have it open. I can see that it's open.
Okay, sorry, yes.
So here, if you can see, there are like these views, like the ledger view. So if you want to see the journal entries in a ledger view by different ledgers, you can click on that and you can even export that. You see that there's an export button for PDF, Excel on these views. Rinki, can you click on that ledger view and just show changes the view? So this is basically flipping the view to display the ledgers. Yeah, again, you can export it by ledgers. So you can filter on the ledgers that you want to get. So, I mean, you can export all the payable related ledgers.
Anything else on the reporting side that you'd like to see?
Can you show us some examples of the types of reports that are created?
Yeah. So, Rinki, can you just roll over your mouse on the menu of the reports? So these are like all the receivables report, payables report, financial reports, ledger reports.
I was thinking, I guess, more about financial reports.
Yeah. So what you're seeing here is like both the AP aging, AR aging, AP. And again, as I said, like, I mean, these are some of the canned or standard reports. But our system comes in with a built-in BI engine, and the BI engine can actually generate any type of report you want.
Okay.
And ladies, you only have to set these reports up once, and then you can have it delivered whenever you like, weekly, daily, monthly.
Okay.
So this is an example of the AP aging report. If you can see the paid amount, the remaining amount, the transaction status, the total amount. This is our query designer engine, the one which Ashish was talking about. So here we can just drag and drop the tables from the, so we can just search the tables over here, and I can just go ahead and drag and drop, or I can click on this plus sign, or I can just drag the report. The query gets created automatically, and I can execute it and create my own report using this query designer engine.
Do any of your reports have visuals like charts or things that are not strictly data or numbers?
Yeah, sure. We have graphs, different graphs on the workbench. We do have dashboards too.
Okay.
I'll just show that to you. Just give me 1 minute.
Can you just show the workbench and some?
Yeah. Yeah. So you can see you can check different charts: pie chart, line chart, column chart, different types of chart. So these are you can see payables with count. We have the accounts receivable invoice. We have the received payment graph. You can see in 2018. So depending upon the requirement, we can configure these type of graphs in the system.
Okay.
finance graph, bank statement, monthly amount, pay invoice graph. So you can see, I can just switch the,
So you can compare two graphs side by side for last year, this year, and
that's right.
a lot of other options.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to see, or do you have any other questions?
I understood you to say that this works with QuickBooks, or is it like, is it interacting in some way with QuickBooks, or is it?
Yeah, we have like APIs for QuickBooks, and we can integrate with QuickBooks. We can so we have customers like who have outgrown QuickBooks and they totally migrate to us. We have customers who are still using QuickBooks because their old data is in there. They don't want to get rid of it, so they start using it. We just import their data directly into our system from QuickBooks. So we have these APIs for QuickBooks.
Mm-hmm. When you were saying that you can do a la carte, is the pricing then sort of a la carte as well? If we don't.
Yeah, so our pricing is pretty straightforward. So there's a one-time setup fee for. So if we were fortunate enough to win your business, the way that it would work is we would do one big data upload. So there's a one-time setup fee for that, and then there is the monthly. The monthly is $99 per month per user. And so what we would do is we would sit down and talk about the specifics that you will want from the system, because every client is different. And then of course we would do the big data upload. And you know, as I said, the beauty of our solution is automation is the strength. So we could help reduce a lot of the redundancy, a lot of the manual entry. A lot of that would pretty much go away. So yeah, but it's one-time setup fee, and then there's a monthly of $99 per month per user.
So it's not, so there's no costing based on number of entities, it's just on number of users?
That's right.
Okay.
And let me ask you this, if you have, let's say you had a staff of maybe 2 accounts payable people, and they didn't work at the same time, so they split schedule 20 hours each. Could you have one user set up as accounts payable or accounts receivable? And that would be just one.
We typically do not recommend that, because then you lose the traceability of audit trail.
Mm-hmm.
So who changed it in the system?
Right.
You would not come to know about it, because I mean, the visibility will be lost.
Right. I was just wondering if that's, you can set up users by person's name, or you could maybe do it by role or something like that even.
We have roles which limit the access that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I mean, you can remove or add access, and it is all scalable. Like, I mean, if you get more employees or you reduce employees, then your monthly invoice will go down after that.
Mm-hmm.
Part of our challenge is that we have a team, and while Krista and I are the ones that primarily do the accounting piece of our functions, we do have a couple other people that back us up or help us out periodically, but they're not in it nearly as much as we are. So I think we're trying to figure out if there's still a way they could have access when we need their help without it being $99 per month for them.
And I have worked with businesses that use a generic login, so everyone uses the same login.
Yeah, but I mean, see, they will not be able to figure out if someone made a mistake in the system, and if someone made a wrong payment, especially payable is such a critical function.
Mm-hmm.
So those errors, they will definitely not be able to trace it back.
Right. Or if you had such a small team, one person's paying the bills, you know who's paying the bills. So it's really no question if there's a bill paid wrong.
Right. It's just like for data entry, like for another person. So probably Stacy can work out some of those details with you.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely, I can work with you guys on it. Before we wrap up, was there anything else you'd like to see?
I think that's all I have for now.
Okay, great. Well, this is a very good demo. Thank you, ladies. As you can see, it's a pretty broad application. This was more of a high-level overview. As I said, it's pretty user-friendly. Automation is key. Another key feature that we didn't really touch on was our solution is big with artificial intelligence. So AI is big in our solution. As I said, you can pick and choose the modules that you want. Every client is different. Everything that you have seen is configurable. It's user friendly, as you can see. It's just straight drag and drop menu, and we built it that way because the last thing that you need is to have to learn a complicated system. So, as I said, this was more of a high level overview. What we'd like to maybe offer you is maybe a free trial, if you like. And the free trial it's a 7-day trial, and it'll give you a chance to kind of see if the solution is really a good fit for the firm. Would that be of interest to you at some point?
It might down the line. I would say not at this moment because we're really busy at the moment. we need to kind of get through this time and through the holidays before we would be ready to do something like that. I think at this point, I actually do have one more question since you just mentioned AI. Can you just give us kind of a high level, just kind of hit on some of the things that your AI addresses?
Yeah,
Sure.
It's primarily, so for example, the system has the ability to learn, like if you have like certain vendors whose invoices get repeated every month, so the system automatically, instead of someone creating invoices manually, doing data entry, the system auto-generates in AP invoices and AR invoices, and it puts it in a draft mode. And if you want to convert it and adjust the amount, you don't have to start it from scratch and create it. So it gets pre-created for you. And then you accept it or reject it. And if you reject it, then it gets deleted. If you accept it, then it gets automatically created. So basically, it saves you like all the legwork that you have to do to create those invoices. There's like it is a recurring invoice based, learns your pattern, like how in what pattern are those invoices getting created. The system has that ability.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, great. Well, if you don't have any questions, thank you again for your time. This was a really good demo. We would certainly love to continue the discussion. Is there a time frame you'd like me maybe to circle back with you? I'm sure that the holidays are approaching, so.
Yeah, we're trying to get through some deadlines before the holidays, and then we come back and are in a pretty big crunch time those first few weeks of January. Why don't you let Krista and I kind of talk through what we've learned today, and maybe if you want to touch back with me, what are we now? Maybe sometime in January, and I can kind of just let you know kind of what we're thinking and where we are at that point. Would that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So around the middle of the month?
I think so. Does that sound good to you, Kristen?
Yeah, that sounds good. I would say after the 15th would be great.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I agree. After the 15th.
Okay, great. I will touch base then. And of course, in the meantime, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We'll talk next year.
Same to you. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
All right, take care.
You
Bye
too.
now.
Bye.